Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named IcyMacaron23 in the AIO subreddit. The post is titled, "I'm still upset that my GF met up with her ex. I and my girlfriend Claire have been dating for 2 years. She has told me a bit about her past relationships, but never really delved into them because she doesn't like talking about the past. One thing she did tell me about was an ex she had named Kate. Kate and my girlfriend were longtime best friends. They had been friends for about 6 years before they got together. Claire told me how Kate saved her from an abusive relationship in which her ex nearly killed her, and that she felt she owed Kate a debt she didn't know how to repay. Kate and Claire got engaged shortly after they started officially dating. It ended up not working out because they weren't compatible, and they eventually had a massive fight and never spoke again. This happened about 8 months before Claire and I met. About 6 months ago, Claire got a message from Kate. Kate apologized for all the awful things she had said and asked if they could meet up. I was there and saw the messages, as Claire showed me. She was so angry and sad. She told me she didn't know if she could forgive Kate. Claire is the kindest person I know. She would never hurt anyone and could practically forgive you for just about anything. That's just how she is. She asked me what I thought she should do, and I told her to do what felt best for her. I wanted to tell her to block Kate, but I didn't. She agonized over it for weeks. Eventually, she told me that she was going to meet up with Kate. She said it was so she could close that chapter of her life, gain closure, and repay the debt she owed Kate. She said they had been best friends for a long time before they dated, and while she missed her best friend, she wasn't going to allow her back into her life. I was uneasy and asked if she was sure. She could tell I was feeling weird and asked if it would make me feel better if I came with her. She also asked if she should not go, and I told her she should go. I said I didn't want to come with her, but it would make me feel better if someone did, so she took her brother. She went and kept me updated the entire time. When I messaged her, she responded right away. She reassured me, and after it was over, she filled me in on everything they talked about. When she told me, I didn't realize how much it upset me that she met up with her ex until afterward. I told her I was really upset that she went through with meeting up with her ex and that I didn't understand why she did it. She asked me why I didn't tell her it upset me, and I told her, any reasonable person would be upset with their girlfriend meeting up with their ex. It's disrespectful, and you clearly don't care about me if you think I'd be okay with it. She got upset and said I should have communicated better, that she couldn't undo meeting up with her ex, and she showed me that she had blocked her afterward. I was still upset, so I told a few work friends about what happened, and they all agreed with me that it was disrespectful, but we eventually moved past it. 6 months later, it came up again with my work friends when they asked how our relationship was going, and they said they couldn't believe I'd stayed with Claire after she met up with her ex. They said they would have dumped her. It upset me all over again, so when I got home, I called Claire and told her that I still had some unresolved feelings about that situation. I just word vomited everything. I told her I resented her for doing that everyone thinks I should dump her, that I would never do something so disrespectful, that she doesn't care about our relationship if she could do that, and that I didn't know if I could forgive her. She didn't say anything and hung up after I was done. Then she texted me saying she'd give me space and to let her know what I wanted to do about our relationship. I messaged back saying I felt she should be trying harder to save our relationship and that this just proved my point that she doesn't care. She simply replied that she'd be here when I wanted to talk properly. Update. I got a lot of comments saying I was overreacting about the issue with my girlfriend Claire. I read every comment and waited until I had calmed down to talk to her. She came over yesterday and we talked it out. She said she understood where I was coming from, but that she couldn't undo what she did, and I needed to decide whether or not I could live with the choice she made. She said she loved me, but that she was exhausted from having to explain her point of view in different ways and me not accepting it. We talked some more about our relationship and expectations. I asked if she would be willing to change her number so her ex couldn't reach out again. She adamantly said no, explaining that she'd had this number her whole life and that changing it would be too much of an inconvenience. She showed me again that she had blocked her ex. I agreed it would be a hassle, but I told her that if she wanted to rebuild trust with me, it was something I wanted her to think about. She said she would think about it. After that, the conversation ended up being more of me talking at her, and she just nodded along. In the end, I asked if she had anything to add, and she said she just needed time to think, but had nothing to add at the moment. I asked if we were okay, and she said yes. Everything seemed good. We resolved everything, and I was happy that we had talked it out. She seemed happy too. I'm in a barely used group chat with all of our friends plus Claire. No one really talks except to share photos of their babies or partners or to make plans. While Claire was making dinner, I wrote in the group chat and took a picture of her, saying that it was sweet she was making dinner, that we were doing so well, and that I was so happy. I made a joke in the chat that even if Claire cheated on me with her ex, I would miss her cooking and would probably win the friends in the divorce. I told Claire what I wrote and she shut down. I told her it was just a silly joke and tried to explain, but she still wouldn't talk to me. She cooked and we ate in silence. I asked if we were okay again and she said yes. Then she made up a very obvious lie to leave. She said she had forgotten she had things to do tomorrow and that it was easier to do them from her house. I texted her after she left saying she didn't have to lie to me, and she replied that she wasn't lying, that she actually had things to do and that she was sorry for leaving. All of this is to say that this morning she broke up with me. Everyone who said she would dump me was right. She told me that I needed more than she could give and that we weren't compatible. I asked if we could talk about it over the phone and she agreed. We spoke for an hour. I told her I wouldn't make her change her phone number, that I trusted her completely, that I was just hurt, and that the joke was meant to lighten the mood. I told her I loved her. She just kept saying the same thing, that we weren't compatible and that I'd find someone who would match what I need. But I don't want to find anyone else or start dating again. I wanted to be with her. I asked her to think about it some more before making a decision, but she said she didn't need to and that she hoped I'd find what I was looking for. I reached out to a few of her friends from the group chat, told them what happened, and asked if we could stay friends. Claire messaged me saying she hadn't even had the chance to tell her friends yet and asked if I could give her 10 minutes to let them know. I told her who I messaged was none of her concern anymore. Out of the 6 friends I contacted, only one replied, saying they'd be happy to stay friends. Claire blocked me after my last message, but maybe that's for the best. I wanted to give an update because I was wondering if what I said in the group chat was okay. Some of my friends said the message I sent came off like a threat, but I told them Claire found it funny. Now I'm wondering if she just overreacted or if I did after she broke up with me. User Big Nerd said, "Who in their right mind makes jokes like this? What kind of 4D chess was that? OP sounds exhausting and insecure. OP probably shouldn't be in a relationship right now. She clearly isn't ready for one." User Twisted Herm said, "What an idiot. Glad the ex could get away. OP sounds exhausting." This next story was made in the legal advice subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, "My ex lied about vaccinating our immune-compromised daughter. She now has chickenpox and is in the hospital. I want my ex as far away from my daughter as possible. My ex and I split up before our daughter's birth. There were a variety of reasons for this that I won't get into here. One of them, though, was her anti-science beliefs. She's an anti-vaxxer and doesn't trust science or medicine at all. Unfortunately, this has been a major issue because our daughter was born premature and immunocompromised. We have 50-50 custody of her, but due to her condition and my ex's anti-science beliefs, we argue constantly about how to care for her. Recently, our daughter has made incredible progress, and last year she was given the go-ahead to get vaccinated for certain viruses, including chickenpox and the flu. My ex went crazy over this, started making my life a living hell, and threatened repeatedly to take me to court. Around this time, I also got a new job that paid considerably more than my old one. When that happened, I decided I wanted to enroll our daughter in a private school that has a program for immunocompromised children, and I offered to pay 100% of the tuition. The only problem for her, at least, was that the school requires students to be fully vaccinated up to their medically allowed limit in my daughter's case. My ex fought me every step of the way, and we ended up in court. The judge agreed with me and ordered my daughter to be vaccinated. My ex had a full breakdown, but in the end agreed on the condition that she be the one to take our daughter to lessen the emotional damage and make sure the doctor doesn't poison her. I demanded the medical forms confirming this, and she agreed. So my daughter finally got vaccinated and last fall started at her awesome new school. Well, last week my daughter got incredibly sick and had to be rushed to the hospital from school. She somehow contracted varicella chickenpox despite being vaccinated for it. I've been stressed out from the minute I got the call and completely confused about how she got it. My daughter must have picked up on my stress and thought I was mad at her because when I was visiting her in the hospital, she decided to tell me the secret mommy promised to make her keep. Turns out my ex didn't vaccinate her. She made my daughter lie about it. Instead, she had been using special oils and salts to keep her from getting sick. What about the forms I got saying she was vaccinated? They were fake. I called the doctor and it turns out she never went in and he never signed any forms confirming she was vaccinated. My ex lied and forged forms to convince me our daughter had been vaccinated. I'm pissed, to say the least. My daughter is in the hospital because my ex decided to let her beliefs come before our child's health. My ex doesn't know that I know yet, and I told my daughter not to tell her. I want her gone now. How do I approach this to make sure my ex faces consequences for what she's done? I have the form she gave me and the text from the day she claimed to take our daughter in. I also have the doctor on record saying he never signed off on those forms and that the ones I have are forged. I'm planning on speaking to a lawyer, but I'd like to know what I should do going in. Thank you. Update. Well, a lot has happened since that day. My daughter is safe with me and was released from the hospital about a week ago. She's getting better every day. I know you all want the full story, so here it is. After I made that post, I took the advice given to me. The next time I saw my daughter, I told her that it was wrong of me to ask her to keep secrets and that it was okay to tell her mom. Along with that, I met with a lawyer recommended to me by a trusted source. When I went to see him, he told me that this was a case lawyers salivate over and that my ex is in a lot of trouble. I immediately filed for emergency custody of my daughter. I also got in contact with the doctor again and explained the situation fully to him. He said that while he wouldn't be getting lawyers involved himself, he wanted me to submit the evidence to the police and file a report. In addition, my lawyer has contacted the court that originally ordered us to vaccinate our daughter and has handed over everything I gave him. He has advised me to stay quiet about the matter, so I'll just say that my ex is in a lot of trouble with them. During this time, my ex started to get suspicious. Maybe it was because a friend told her about a post on Reddit and she freaked out. Who knows? A few days later, when I saw her at the hospital, we had an altercation. She became hysterical and yelled various threats and insults at me, including accusing me of wanting to poison our daughter right in front of our sick child. She was escorted out of the building and the head nurse banned her from coming back. After this, she sent me a barrage of texts calling me a monster and claiming that if she had vaccinated our daughter, she'd be dead now. I forwarded those messages to my lawyer. As he puts it, she's what lawyers dream of when they hear who's on the other side of the court. Aside from that, I've been advised to stay as quiet as possible, so I'll leave it at this. This week, I was granted emergency custody of my daughter until our custody hearing later this year. I've also heard that the DA is preparing to move forward with multiple charges against my ex, which will likely land her in jail soon. That's really it for now. I am following my lawyer's advice and won't be saying anything else to anyone. I don't want the media involved in this for several reasons, so I've kept things intentionally vague. When all of this is said and done, if there's still interest, I may post another update, but for now, thank you for all the advice in the original thread. My daughter and I truly appreciate it. Final update. Hello again, everyone. 3 years ago, I made a post about how my ex lied about vaccinating our daughter. Soon after, I gave an update and then disappeared over the horizon. I had completely forgotten about making those posts, as the last few years, dealing with a global pandemic and raising an immunocompromised daughter have aged me about 3 decades. But I recently saw a post referencing my old ones and it all came back like a ton of bricks. After wrestling to get back into this account, here I am. I hope you're still interested in an update. To give the short answer first, I have full custody of my daughter and my ex is barred from having any contact with her. Now for the long answer. The court battle between my ex and me was a grueling process, one of the worst periods of my life. It took over 5 months from when I was granted emergency custody to when I received full custody of my daughter. In retrospect, those 5 months weren't that long, but they felt like the longest of my life. During that time, my ex's harassment got worse. She even showed up at my house and tried to force her way in to take our daughter. She was arrested for this and charged with attempted forced entry. Before she could bail herself out, the DA decided to throw the book at her for forging medical documents. She ended up spending a month in jail for that, which unfortunately delayed our custody case. The upside, though, was that I was granted a protective order for myself and my daughter, a decision that came back to bite her when we finally got in front of a judge. I was granted full custody of my daughter. My ex and her lawyer angered the judge by trying to claim that I had planned everything from the start, forcing her into a corner to vaccinate our daughter so I could use her reaction to initiate a custody battle. Her actions, along with her upcoming hearings for felony forgery and attempted forced entry, plus the protective order, convinced the judge that my ex was a danger to our daughter. She lost all custodial rights, and as of now, she is not legally allowed to contact her in any form. My protective order was extended by 2 years as well, though I ultimately didn't need it since only a few months later she went to prison. My ex took a plea deal. The forced entry charge was dropped and she received 2 years in prison for the forgery, but it still counted as a felony. She was released early due to COVID. Since then, I've luckily had no contact with her outside of receiving the child support I'm owed. I'm not particularly inclined to keep tabs on her personal life, but I do know she's gone completely down the conspiracy rabbit hole. She's now a full QAnon supporter and is dating someone who was involved in the January 6th insurrection. Other than that, she's disappeared from my daughter's life entirely. As for my daughter and me, the past few years have been a living nightmare. We moved to a new state and I had to enroll her in fully online schooling, but our lives are great now. Amazingly, my daughter was able to get the COVID vaccine just a month ago and has been cleared to attend in-person school once the summer ends. This whole saga has taught me so much. I'm grateful every day to have my daughter with me, safe, healing, and growing stronger. It's honestly touching that so many people are still interested after all this time in the story of a regular guy and his daughter. I genuinely hope this is the last update I'll ever need to make. Thank you for your interest and see you all on the next horizon.